Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about probably one of the most powerful tools that resellers have in their arsenal. That's eBay completed listings. A lot of you might already know what this is, but a lot of you might not. I've actually been surprised by how many people don't know how to utilize completed listings. And like I said, it's really a powerful tool, and if you want to be successful in this business, you need to know how to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and get in here now and explain it in a little bit more full detail. That way, if you ever see it referenced in another video of mine or just in a forum in general, you know what they're talking about. So here we go. This is just the eBay homepage right here. There's the regular search bar, which is right here, and you're going to want to go to the advanced search tab. Just click on that. And once you get here, you'll see a lot of different options. For this video, we're just going to do the basic one. You can also search by seller. So if there's another eBay seller you want to see what they've sold in the past, you can actually search by the seller name, and it will tell you all their completed listings for the last 15 days. But today we're just going to do a generic item search. For the example, I'm going to use the Nintendo 64 console. Very good console, very good seller. And we're also going to do a completed listing search. You'll see there's three options right here: title and description, sold listings, and completed. Completed is going to say all the listings that have ended on eBay, whether they've sold or not. If someone put an abnormally high price, it's still going to show up there. And I'll explain to you why it's important to search for that, even though it sounds kind of dumb. But we're going to start off with that. You'll notice there's a lot of other options down here. We're going to go ahead and leave blank, because you'll have the ability to change those in the search results anyways. So we'll go ahead and do the search. Alright, so this is going to be the basic screen for the search results that we got. The first thing to point out that some of the prices are in green and some are in black. Green has been sold, which means that a person actually sold it for the price they listed it in, and black means that they listed it but it didn't actually sell. So that person might have wanted that price but they didn't get it. Over here on the left hand side, you're going to see the categories that each of those items are in. This is very important because one of the most important things when you're listing an item, it asks you what category to put it in. This will show you the most popular categories. In this case, for the Nintendo 64 console, it's the most popular category is video game consoles, which is to be expected since that's the keyword that we use. But if you were listing it, you would most likely want to list it in that category, barring any crazy thing. Maybe if you have a wholesale lot. Even if you did have a wholesale lot, you probably just want to put it in this category and maybe pay to be in that extra category, because the most populous category is usually going to be the one with the most buyers looking at it. So that's the one that you want to be in. We also have on the side here, this is just region code. If they're selling foreign, foreign stuff like Japanese consoles, it'll show that. That's not too important because you'll see the Japanese writing on the console and know that's not the one you're looking for. But then condition new and used, it allows you to go over there and select what condition yours is in. You could put a price parameter on it. We don't really need to do that. And then this is also kind of important too, item location. This is more important in categories like toys and craft stuff, where you have every other seller is a Chinese seller just selling knockoffs for super cheap, and it will flood the completed listings with things that really don't interest you because you're not a Chinese manufacturer and you're not really interested how they're selling their knockoffs. So you just put USA only, and that would clear out all the foreign competition that you're not really worried about seeing what they sold theirs for. And then you can also switch between those options on the show only, and we'll do that a little bit later because the sold listings in particular comes in handy. So we've got a lot of information here. I'm going to go ahead and break it down to see what's important. The most important thing is the category, like I said, and also the keywords that you're going to be using for your auction. Keywords are what drive the life of the auction. If you don't have the right keywords, you're not going to sell your item for as much as you want. So as you can see here, I put in console, but under it, it says related. This is going to be very important because this is going to show you what other people have searched for that are semi like what you are going to do, but it's not exactly like the keyword you put in. And in this case, we have Nintendo 64 system is the most popular. So this is going to tell you that a lot of people are searching for the Nintendo 64 system, so you're going to want to put that system keyword in your title for selling that, because the same people that are searching Nintendo 64 console are searching Nintendo 64 system. If you go ahead and click on it, you'll notice there's actually less results for that. So that's you wouldn't, if you were just doing system and you didn't include the word console in it, you'd be getting less people searching your item. So you'd be a little bit better off if you put in console, but not as good. Let's go back over here. So you got the console tab over here. Now the results are kind of weird. eBay does a lot of things to filter them out, but in general, the amount of results you get can be fairly accurate if you're doing it right. So eBay does a lot of wacky stuff like that, you know, but I know that doesn't make too much sense to you. That's more advanced, but in general, this results is kind of important. So another thing you're going to want to do for your item is sell-through rate, and I'll show you how to kind of find a general idea of how to figure that out. So we are in completed listings right now. Like I said, that's everything using that keyword that's sold and hasn't sold. But if you scroll down, try not to make you too nauseous with my crazy scrolling. If you click the sold listings tab, it'll tell you how many of those auctions actually sold, and we're seeing about 9,563. So before, in the previous screen, we saw that it was 11,645. So that's a really good sell-through rate. That tells you that this item is very popular. It tells you you can probably price it in the high range and wait, because it seems there's a lot of buyers and not a lot of people not selling the products regardless of what price they're putting it at. Because you'll notice that almost everyone sold there, so that's a good sign. The next thing you're going to want to do is kind of look at the price and also variance. You'll notice that your keyword is bringing up a lot of different ones. Like, say this one right here is a Pikachu console. That might not be the one you have, but in the future, this didn't sell for that. But if you saw that it sold for 200 bucks and you ever saw one of these again, you know, hey, wow, I know how much to pay for that because I know how much it's worth. So this is a good learning experience to see things that you not necessarily picked up this time, but maybe for next time, be on the lookout for because you know how much they're worth. Even if you're at a flea market and they're asking $30 for a console, but say it's, let's go find one that's successfully sold. Say it's this light blue one right here. You know, wow, you know, 100 bucks is not too unrealistic for this. You probably want to see if there's any other ones that have sold for that. You don't want to go off just one example. But, you know, I could probably get $100 for that, so I know $30 isn't a horrible price, especially if maybe it's coming with a couple games. Another thing you're going to want to look at when you're looking at that is similar keywords and price and keyword correlation. Let's see, you know, huge Nintendo 64 console with amazing games bundle lot. So you notice they use a lot of keywords in there, and kind of see on the more successful ones if people are using those you know, keywords. So controllers, games, tested works, console. That one seems to be a little bit more lucky. That's a lot of money for that. 250 bucks. They did well. And you just want to kind of see the keywords, and that's pretty much the extent of that. Just see what keywords are doing the best, and see, you know, so you know what to put in your auction. The next one you're going to want to do is compare the auction price to the buy it now price. I'm not going to go into that right now. It's fairly self-explanatory, but basically just compare to how much the item is going for on auction and how much is going for buy it now. With this item, because the popularity is so good for it, you're probably going to get a good price on auction because there's just so many eyeballs looking for it. With slower items, you're going to notice that the auction prices in general tend to be far lower than the buy it now prices, especially if it's a rarer item. So someone will put it to auction and it'll sell for $10 because not that many people are looking for it at the time, but then someone had it on buy it now for $35 and they waited a couple months and it sold for their asking price. So comparing the auction to the buy it now and also the completed to the sold will give you an idea of how fast the item's selling and your pricing strategy for it. It's probably not smart to put a console like this on a 30-day buy it now. It's probably smart to put it on a 7-day auction just to clear it out of your inventory, and you know you're going to get full price for it. You're not the likelihood of you getting a low, as long as you're using the keywords getting a low price, is very slim because it's so popular. Another thing you're going to want to look for is variance. For this specific one, it's hard to tell here, but you'll notice this little red thing. A lot of people will describe it in their thing as a selling point because it is, but like this one right here, this person got $80 shipped for their console, no games, just one controller and the cords. And you'll notice that they put this keyword expansion pack. And this is very important because on this model, the expansion pack was not a stock feature on it. It's actually an aftermarket part that people purchased to play additional games. And that's a very important selling point on this, and that's probably most likely why they got $80 shipped for it. So if you see like a higher price, look in the keywords and say, hey, what got it that higher price? And you go in and you look at the description and say, oh, well, that expansion pack, does mine have that? And you look for that little red, you might not know what it is, but you can do a Google search and figure out what a Nintendo 64 expansion pack is and see if your piece has that part, and that way you can command a higher price as well. This is a great tool for doing research, and you can just spend hours and hours going through listings and seeing what people have sold theirs for. But one of the most important things I think too is actually going and finding the more successful auctions and looking at their descriptions. Let's go to that $80 one that we saw earlier. So the listing is ended. Let's see how they describe their auction. And this is a great way to pick up keywords for yours too. So it's fairly simple. You know, they have their item specifics. They say, you know, oh, look, this is an important detail. The thumbstick on the controller is tight. This is a super important thing when selling Nintendo 64 controllers, but you might not know that because you might not be familiar with the video game world. And you're saying to yourself, thumbstick is tight. He made a specific, what am I trying? He made a point to point that out. So the thumbstick on the controller is tight. You want to see yours. Oh, is yours loose? Is yours tight? And that's a selling point. That'll help you out with your auction. This also lists all the things it comes with, so there's not any, like you see here. He makes a note that it comes with the expansion pack, so that's putting emphasis on the expansion pack, which is important. And if you have that, you should do that in your description, and so forth. And you just go ahead and see what his return policy is like. See, you know, you can learn a lot from studying professional people and successful people on eBay to kind of get a idea of what you want to do. Another important thing to look out for, we're going to wrap it up here because the video is going a little bit long, but there's still an important thing I need to tell you is the dates. You'll notice, especially on auction, dates play a big role in how much the item is sold for. You want to go, every auction has a date, which is located right here. You want to go and you want to compare prices, and you want to see, even with buy it nows is important because it shows you when the buying activity is happening. So even if you're not, you know, if you're looking to put it on auction, don't just look at the auctions, look at the buy it nows as well, because it shows you when the prime buying activity is happening. And that's typically when you want to try to end your auctions. This item's so popular, it has, you know, peak hours every day, but with a, you know, less popular item, it might only sell particularly well on the weekends when people have off work, or maybe after work in the later hours of a weekday. So it's important to look at the dates of when things have sold, and if you see stuff is trending higher on a specific date or time, you want to go ahead and mimic that in your auction as well. Remember, there's always the option to set a date. Even if you're listing at 1 o'clock on a Monday morning, you can set it for next Saturday, next Friday night, next Sunday night, whatever you want. It just costs an extra 10 cents. And most of the time it's worth it, especially if you're listing at an oddball hour. So that should about wrap it up. If you guys have any additional questions, I'd be happy to help you. I've used this feature for many, many years, and it's made me a lot more money than I would had I not used it. I can help you with any questions you might have. And if you want to go ahead and leave a comment, I'd be happy to respond to it. I hope that helps you guys. I hope that's informative. And good luck picking, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.